to you by Jeep. There's only one. It's actually the first time UConn has the same starting five 3 games in a row. You've got the veterans, and then you've got the 2 freshmen in Arnold and Shade. And for the Louisville Cardinal, you've got 3 transfers: Taylor, Jefferson, Ricards, and then Harris and Cochran are your returners here for the Cardinals. I mentioned that the Louisville Cardinals come in with a 10-1 overall record. The only game that they lost to, they beat Ole Miss in Oxford on November 29th. And this is really the 3rd road game today for them. So a true test here for them in a very, very hostile environment.
When you think about the experience on this Louisville roster, but not a lot of these players have experience in this type of a ball game on the road.
Transfers from mid-majors now playing in the ACC for the first time. Good ball movement. The first shot taken by the freshman.
And that's a great sign for UConn early. Ball movement and player movement is something they've struggled with. You know, Ariema telling us they worked on it all week in practice. It's a good sign to start the ball game.
Ashlyn Shade, a freshman out of Indiana. Season high in minutes the last couple of games and gets the start once again. Here's the other freshman, KK Arnold, bringing it across where she's got speed out of Wisconsin. Germantown High School. Nika Muhl, and here's the touch to Paige Bueckers. Muhl will take it inside. Aaliyah Edwards, she can hit that shot. 15 to about 17 feet out. You see the touch that she has. It's a 4-0 start.
We talked earlier about Olivia Cochran getting touches as she does right there. Aaliyah Edwards has a tendency to get into foul trouble. Give Cochran the ball, let her go to work.
Olivia Cochran mentioned averaging double figures for the first time. Missed shot, perhaps a transition opportunity here for the Cardinals. Hard foul, count the bucket. It'll be Harris going to the free throw line for the end. Really long wings and some big guards. Nyla Harris stands at 6'2" as a sophomore. One of the 2 starters returning from last year with Cochran. The last couple of games, though, she's been good, averaging about 14.5 points per game. And Louisville with the 5-4 edge.
And Louisville, they're going to come with this full court pressure. After free throws, after made shots, handling it is going to be key.
Aaliyah Edwards, offensive rebound and put back. Edwards takes it away. Out and running, here's Arnold all alone for another 2. And turnovers leading to offense. Both of these teams high in the steals per game category. Louisville gets about 10 per game. UConn about 9 per game.
And that's what UConn is going to have to do. They only have 1 true post player on the floor. When you play a small lineup, you got to get aggressive. You got to come with traps. You got to create possessions.
Good hustle. Nika Muhl into the hands here of Bueckers. Let's see what she can do on the transition look. Arnold steps into it. Not there. Jefferson, the leading scorer for Louisville here this year. A transfer out of James Madison, and the Cardinals cut the lead to 1. Bueckers on the leak out. We'll have a couple free throws coming.
They're playing small. They've had to make adjustments. When you lose possessions from a rebounding standpoint, you have to create possessions with turnovers and steals for scores.
I love Gino Ariema's basically comments after the win against North Carolina last Sunday. He said, we got to win the math battle if we go small. You know, they will get more rebounds probably, so we got to force more turnovers. We have to make more three-point shots. We got to do that. We also got to make more free throws than the opponent this year.
Well, and going small, while it can be a disadvantage sometimes on the defensive end, it can be an advantage offensively because teams have to match up with you as well.
Cochran will give her that three-point shot. She's only attempted 2 here this season. Hasn't made a three-pointer yet. That's a long 2, and Concord sinks it.
She can make that, and her ability to step up and consistently knock that shot down here today is going to be key for Louisville.
Plays with a lot of energy. She's a fan favorite, Louisville fan base. Hot shooting here to begin with. 4 of 5 for Louisville. UConn is 4 of 7 going into this possession.
That's great action right there for Paige Bueckers. Nyla Harris not used to having to play off of pin downs and fade screens, and Nika Muhl continuing her hot streak from 3.
Yes, 7 of her 8 shot attempts against North Carolina were three-point shot attempts. And Muhl 42% from three-point territory this year. That close out by the freshman, and Taylor hits it right in her face. Sydney Taylor, a transfer out of UMass. She had struggled shooting in the last game and a turnover, a walking violation for UConn. You have Lily Love, who's going to come off the bench. She had transferred last January, but hadn't played a game until this year for Louisville.
No, only 4 returners, 2 of those returners starters. Got a lot of experience with these mid-major transfers, but putting it all together is tough at times, especially when you've got players who are used to dominating the ball.
Cochran's so tough, and you see that passion and emotion.
You saw right away the hard show is coming on the defensive end. Look at the slip and then create the turnover.
Off and run, and they want to move it. They want to transition it. Catch and shoot opportunity for KK Arnold. Love on the push. Love coming off the bench for the Cardinals. And Cochran's going to pursue that three-point shot.
And I think that's one where she can step in as just 1 or 2 steps. Aaliyah Edwards is under the rim in the paint.
Some paint points for Paige Bueckers. 7 of 9 for Louisville. 6 of 10 for UConn to begin with. Number 17 against number 18 in the country. Bueckers no-looks it. Edwards finishes it.
The thing that separates him is that he's willing to take chances. You see it a lot on the defensive end of the floor. He thinks outside the box. He tries to be on the cutting edge.
And coming out of that timeout, though, UConn turning over Louisville, and the bucket for Aubrey Griffin.
I love what Aubrey Griffin can give this team off the bench. She's a player who can get to the rim, who's active on both ends of the floor, can be a spark.
UConn now on a 6-0 run. And a +3 advantage. Nina Ricards, the Florida transfer, looking for something. Again, another touch for Cochran, and you can see why she's leading the way. She's got 8 points.
Well, it's important to keep her involved in the action. Keep Aaliyah Edwards active. You saw early in the first quarter, they're not going to guard her on ball reversals. Now you get her in some on-ball screen actions. You force Edwards to be active on the defensive end.
Here's a look for Paige Bueckers. Nothing but net. You're shaking your head.
Because I think, you know, it's tough to ask a forward to match up on Paige Bueckers.
I think these teams want to force some turnovers. Jada Curry. Ashlyn Shea pulls up from mid-range. Has a good shot to her. Now started 4 of the last 5 games for Shea. Jefferson will reset. Kiki Jefferson now pulls up from 15 feet out. That soft touch. Jefferson, the leading scorer here for Louisville.
And she's been, as Aubrey Griffin gets out in transition, as she gets more comfortable and confident in this offense.
Aubrey Griffin, the chance to talk to her dad, Adrian Griffin, head coach for the Milwaukee Bucks. One thing that he wants to see her do is to rebound. She can affect the game really well in that way.
It sounds like what coaches want from their kids.
Coach who's a dad.
Yeah.
These head coaches really not there where they want to be.
Oftentimes it's more fun for us to talk about.
All kinds of new faces, new pieces, transfers from different schools. Every year is going to be a completely new year. Inside and trying to foul KK Arnold.
Use her body to facilitate as well, and you know, a bonus when you have players who are better with the ball in their hand, whether it's scoring for themselves. You think about somebody specifically like Nika Muhl, who led this offense a year ago so well.
Foul call.
So well.
This sequence without Paige Bueckers here for UConn. Griffin, nowhere to go, needs some help with 13 seconds on the shot clock. 9 now to shoot here for Muhl. Griffin takes her time and sinks the three-point shot. A look for Russell, and she nails the three-point. Just a 26% three-point shooter going into that possession. Arnold looking to push it. She walked with it, so no shot. I mentioned at the beginning, too, Stephanie, that these two unique, both 4-year seniors, both playing college basketball at the same school.
I think right now you go to Aaliyah Edwards inside. Olivia Cochran is on the bench. Nyla Harris can use her athleticism, but not the same power.
If they recognize it, Edwards is calling for it. Here's Griffin.
And it's tough when you have Aubrey Griffin up there trying to hit Edwards on that pass because they're not going to guard her from the three-point line. Yes, she hit one. They're going to make her hit more.
Here's Edwards with the touch baseline. And she's got 8 points. On the push. No exception. Bueckers blocked.
her defensive energy and effort. Block shots, steals, active and aggressive. Well, she's a player who loves to play the game, right? She loves to play the game. She's got great instincts. She understands timing, spacing.
She's got 5 total blocks in the last couple of games. 4 blocks in the last game against North Carolina. From mid-range, off the glass, tough shot for Sydney Taylor. UConn doesn't waste any time. Here goes Griffin. Transition points, count the bucket.
She's active on the defensive end of the floor. She's a decent rebounder, even though her father thinks she needs to be a better rebounder.
So this, parents and coaches are never satisfied. Well, Griffin coming off the bench this year, but does provide some starting experience as well, taking it all the way. Taylor's
most fluid, not as disjointed. Louisville's a team that wants to get out in transition off of steals, but when you think about scoring and pace and transition, if it's not off of steals, you haven't seen as much pace from Louisville.
Each team with 10 fast break points here to open up. Cochran has checked back in. Curry for 3. Hit her first attempt. Offensive rebound. Bueckers was going for it. Gets another block. Paige Bueckers as a defender, and he said a lot of people underestimate what her length is. No one underestimates what kind of shooter she is, so
she knocks it down.
Quickly on the out of bounds. And Edwards brings it down.
And UConn is putting that pressure on the Louisville defense right now.
Griffin nearly lost it. Aubrey Griffin step through move. I'll make Dad smile. The biggest lead of the game here for UConn. Hasn't missed a shot. Griffin 12 points, 5 for 5 from the field. Nika Muhl, change of pace, over to Shade, knocks it down, 3-pointers wild. And it has been a cold second quarter here for the Cardinals. So without the pressure here by this UConn defense. Inside 5 minutes left to play here in the second quarter. Catch and shoot for Shade, it's what she does, not that time. The Cards gives it up to Curry. Here's Jefferson from the wing. Sinks the shot.
And would have been open on that cut if the pass was clean and the catch was clean. Now, those are things that you're not used to seeing from UConn teams.
Cochran with the turn and face. She's got numbers around her. Cochran 0 points in the second quarter. Remember, she had the 8 points in the first quarter. Here's Cochran. Making a move on Edwards, lost her footing and turns it over. And so UConn has numbers. Here's Griffin, strong to the hoop, and Griffin's got 14.
That's what it's going to take. It's going to take players other than Paige Bueckers being threats offensively. Certainly everybody's game plan is going to be to load up and make Paige Bueckers' life miserable, right? As tough as it can be.
Over the back for Louisville. Things unraveling here in the second. So now it's Muhl and Bueckers going off ball here to initiate this offense is KK Arnold.
It's a pin down coming back.
Yes, do it. You've seen it. And the slip to Edwards, beautifully done.
So likely going to switch on those pin downs. Perfect read, terrific timing on the pass.
Interesting to see UConn evolve with this small lineup. Injuries to 4 players. 2 of them starters here this year for the Huskies. Have to kind of
Ooh, had her again, just weren't in a position to make a pass.
Yeah, but that time Harris kind of learned her lesson. Well, Jefferson going into this possession for Louisville has the last 7 points for the Cardinals. Here is Jefferson. She's got the last 9. Counted off the glass. 60 seconds left to play here in the half. A cutting, Paige Bueckers. And a tie-up. Good defense from Lily Love. And forcing the turnover.
I think Louisville can continue to play through her off the ball, get her touches. There will be adjustments. There will be rotations. And she can open up for other players.
She's got 13 points, as you see. Only missed 1 shot. Coming into today, 29 points off of 2,000 in her career. That's the kind of scoring she did at James Madison. Here she is again. Jefferson blocked that time by Edwards, but stays with it. Oh, persistence paying off for Kiki Jefferson.
An opportunity for a 2-for-1 if you go quick, if you're Connecticut.
Edwards has the same idea, right-handed layup.
That's a great read by Aaliyah Edwards.
Good response by the Cardinals, though, trailing by as many as 9 here in this first half. It's a 4-point deficit. Just about a tenth of a difference between shot clock and game clock. The Cards resets. Here's Curry with a handoff. UConn steps in the way. Muhl, the lofting pass to Edwards, tried to athletically corral it, but traveled with it. 8 turnovers for Louisville, 9 turnovers for UConn in this half. The Cards can't get the shot off in time. Nika Muhl, she's got 8 assists here at halftime. Paige has 3, but it's spread around.
And that's where we see UConn teams at their best. The ball is moving, multiple players are touching it, finding the right open teammate, making the extra passes just like that.
On that first possession, now the basket didn't go down, but I think
learning to play with new pieces on the floor has been key.
Paige Bueckers picks the pocket out to Muhl, back to Bueckers on the transition, and Bueckers is in double figures. First turnover here for UConn. Oh, Bueckers again! Bueckers blocks keep coming.
So Paige Bueckers in transition, doesn't give up on the play, stays active and aggressive, gets the block.
And a technical foul after that whole sequence. Jeff Walz and Paige Bueckers will step to the free throw line. Now that he works the officials, he's been working them today.
Today?
But I said we know he didn't work it, right? The prime time start, he likes that. Joke that prime time is noon when you get to your 50s.
I think that happens in the 40s, too.
7 o'clock and 8 o'clock is bedtime. He is fired up today, and most days, right, Stephanie White?
Well, I think he felt like there was a foul on that Paige Bueckers block.
Edwards turning and facing against Cochran. Been one of the matchups to watch in the first half.
And she's got the mismatch down low. Not able to take advantage.
Cochran with the takeaway. Ricards with the pull-up. And a second chance opportunity here for the Cardinals. Jefferson had a hot streak in the second quarter. And a foul there on the floor. Off the fingertips. It's Arnold chasing it down for another fast break point.
That's a heck of a play by KK Arnold. Beating Ricards to that loose ball, finishing in traffic with a little bit of contact. And those are those hustle plays, those 50-50 balls. That's the difference.
Baseline take, that's tough. Nyla in the field against Kentucky and Morehead State. The more you know. Arnold looking for that screen against Edwards and feeds Edwards. Two-player game for the Huskies.
Pace by KK Arnold coming off of that two-man, making sure she engaged the big.
Pressure coming against Louisville. Taylor with the crossover and draws the contact.
To the foul line, it's going to be important.
18 free throw makes per game. Just 5 of 6 from the free throw line.
And it gives them an opportunity to set their pressure. So you get to the free throw line, you make them, you can set your pressure, you can give different looks. I think they have to try to be a little bit more disruptive to UConn's flow offensively.
UConn has made its last 3 attempts on its last 3 possessions. Edwards makes it 4 straight.
And again, I go back to KK Arnold. Making the right plays, making the right reads in that two-man.
And Louisville not wasting any to go along with their 14 points. Cross it over. Griffin looking for it. Griffin staying with it. Griffin putting it through for 16 points. 17th team in the country against the 18th team in the country from Hartford, Connecticut.
And they've done a good job of forcing tough shots by Louisville and securing the defensive board. Rebounding has been a key and a concern for Gino Auriemma all season long, and they've done a great job on the defensive glass here today.
A 16-12 advantage on the defensive boards. There's Bueckers.
Certainly when you think about Aubrey Griffin's ability to get to the rim, Aaliyah Edwards down low, that's going to take some pressure off of Paige Bueckers and allow things to open up for her.
Griffin pushes it away. Another block for UConn. 5 total for the team here today. 3 of them coming from Bueckers. 11-point advantage. This is the largest lead today. Edwards adding to Edwards. Step right, 9 for 9 today.
And I love her taking that shot. I mean, she's a player who is really good attacking the rim from that elbow position. The more that she takes that shot, the more that she makes that shot, defense has to respect it.
Love takes a peek inside. Curry sneaks out behind the three-point line, short.
That was really good execution. They got exactly what they wanted, but now UConn out in transition again.
Griffin leaks out for another 2. Here comes Jefferson. Kiki Jefferson, a one-person break, and Bueckers gets a piece of it.
All of that is renewed because you haven't been able to be on the floor.
Ooh, going down to the floor. European tournament overseas. Was recruiting someone else, and you know this, Steph. Sometimes someone catches your eye. Yes. She debuted against Cincinnati.
And she's a player who's got a great skill set. Jeff Walls talks about a lot of upside.
Edwards trying to challenge her, goes right by her. That's her first miss. What a rebound by Aubrey Griffin. Gets it out. Griffin rebound, and then on the deck was able to find a shooter. And the third opportunity on this possession for UConn. And they turn it over.
When I was just announcing, I didn't believe in announcers, James. But
now you're superstitious, right?
Right, yes.
Bueckers with another block. Ties her career high with 4 blocks here today. Back-to-back games with 4 blocks for Bueckers. To the corner. Griffin had 1 3-pointer today. Takes it inside. Aubrey Griffin's having herself a game. 20 points here today.
That's just great patience. Uses the shot fake to force the defender to close. And she is so quick with that first step.
Right side look there for Ricards. Jeff Walls has talked about the adjustment of these transfers. Ricards coming from Florida. Maybe a little bit more used to the pace and physicality coming from the SEC over to the ACC. I know UConn fans love seeing these jerseys when they bring them back out, but they call them throwback jerseys.
I was like, is it really a throwback? It wasn't all that long ago, was it?
Coming from 2 people who played in the 90s, I think that was a great argument. Out of the timeout. Emerging as those 2 players here for Louisville this year. Getting acclimated, though, with so many different players. Jefferson staying in with the 4 personals, trying to feed Cochran, and another turnover. 14 turnovers here for the Cardinals. Today is arguably the toughest test for Louisville across their schedule. It's the second-ranked opponent that they've taken on, Paige Bueckers.
And when her man has to help or a switch happens, you're going to get her on the secondary action. Terrific execution by UConn.
Good open look for Sydney Taylor, but she can't pay it off. Really, even last season as well, would like to see, as we mentioned, those percentages go up.
Got her in just a little bit late, not ready to make the pass.
Bueckers for 3. Back-to-back for Bueckers. But we forget, right, that these are, 17, 22-year-old kids on average, that they should still enjoy basketball and have fun playing basketball, regardless of the pressure, the attention, all the extracurriculars.
And I think there are a lot of players who play the game because they're really good, and there are a lot of players who just love to play the game, or who can't get enough of it, who are willing to do whatever it takes on both ends of the floor, more for the fastest to 1,000. Where she had that incredible freshman year, has been injured since then, and it's great to see her happy and healthy back on the floor.
And Olivia Cochran, of course, congratulations to her on having one of her best seasons. Ooh, speaking of Cochran, but she got a flex coming up. She leads the team in blocks, steals, rebounds, second on the team in scoring.
Well, that one's one where she had a double team and shooting a tough shot.
hustling back. It's Russell.
Well, they've really had to regroup and reorganize how they want to play. I mean, this is a UConn team and program that always plays a tough schedule. They played multiple ranked opponents. They've got more after this ball game.
And that whole practice thing probably helps UConn this week.
Yeah, no question. And, you know, every coach loves this time of year when there's finals are over. It's the holiday break. You can focus on basketball.
Jefferson in the paint, trying to pursue his own miss. And she draws the foul.
Reinvent always, but retool for some teams before we go into conference play.
For Louisville as well.
It's odd sometimes, I think, saying that
here with the Cardinals. And stepping in the passing lane, Love breaking it up. Ricards dribbling out of pressure. And Cochran for two.
It's a different intensity level. It's a different focus, mentality, all of those things. So it's a tremendous challenge.
This is a Cardinals team that comes in 10-1 overall, but had blown out their competition. You know, plus 21 was their scoring margin coming into today. So really kind of the first big test, if you will, against a team ranked this high and in this kind of environment. Griffin takes it away. Griffin off to the races, too strong, but gets fouled by Love. Aubrey Griffin to the free throw line. Already a season high for Griffin. You can tell she's going to have one of those games. 22 points now for Griffin. Her career high is 29. She got against Princeton in 2022.
And again, just the energy coming off the bench, to have somebody that not only can contribute from a production standpoint, but can change the energy of a ball game. And she has the ability to do that. I mean, UConn has changed their lineup multiple times, 6 different starting lineups, but they've been with this over the last few games. I think Gino Auriemma likes what he gets. I think he likes what he gets off the bench. And hopefully, as a coach, consistency.
I feel like Aubrey Griffin is a player who just understands her role. You know, I mean, just look at, you mentioned her as a starter versus a reserve player. 5 starts this year, and the other, including today, coming off the bench. Cochran sinks the jumper. 20-point lead. Largest lead has been 22 here for UConn.
Nice pass.
Arnold dumping it off to Edwards. Quick assist.
And I think you also just can't discount how much just game experience. And KK Arnold, I feel like she's managing the game really, really well today. Really learning how to play with one another, learning where your strengths can lie. These freshmen for UConn are having to grow up fast. They were probably meant to come in and play some roles, maybe some of them double-figure minutes, maybe not. And now they're being thrown in to the fire, so to speak. Well, Jeff Walls talked to us about the fact that his defense isn't where he wants it to be.
That break I'm talking about, December 20th to December 31st.
Playing well together, sharing the basketball, much more fluid on the offensive end of the floor. Feel like a renewed sense of energy defensively, activity level. Now it's just about building consistency. Can you give the same thing day in and day out?
The foul call. KK Arnold has been aggressive today. 9 points, 5 assists. The foul to Russell. And Aubrey Griffin. Nice hand in exchange with the head coach. 25 points for Griffin, 4 off his tying her career high. But a new season high for her today.
Well, she deserves that applause. And from the moment that she came in, she changed the pace of this ball game. Her energy, her ability to get to the rim, she was terrific. This is what we have to do. Our intensity level, our focus every day in practice has to be better.
They got a mix and match here this year. Picked 4th in the preseason poll, picked 4th in the ACC. Samuels can't get the reverse. The final few seconds of this one from Hartford. Also can't get it. Battling for it on the boards. As I've seen Connecticut play all season long. And we talked about their ups and downs throughout the course of a ball game and throughout the course of 4 quarters in the game. They were consistent. They shared the basketball, their ball movement, player movement offensively, and their activity level on the defensive end allowed them to get out in transition. This is going to be the identity of this team moving forward.